Today we're going to be working with Photoshop Assignment 9. So go to the handout folder, J. Serretta handout, Grade 10 Photography, Section C Photoshop, and open up Assignment 9. Now here are the three files we are going to require for this assignment. Drag them to Photoshop, and here we have them. Okay. Now these are only a couple of files we're going to need. What we're going to do is we're going to create a nice, pristine, peaceful beach setting, because I mean it is Winnipeg, and I know we'd all like to be somewhere nicer, possibly Florida. So what we're going to do here is create a new file first of all. I'll set the width to 800 pixels by 500 pixels. Let's make it 400 pixels. And click OK. So what we're going to do here is using the text tool, we're going to type in our names, Serretta, or whatever your name happens to be. Now I obviously want a bigger font size here. I noticed that it only goes up to 72 point. If I want something bigger, I can always type in the size of the font that I want, right? No font size is too great, so 172 works for what I have here with the font that I'm using. And then if I want it to be even bigger, I can Command T to transform it and stretch it to fit the box if I want. Okay? So this is going to be my graffiti. Now because this is a vector object, I can't actually modify it. So what I need to do is I need to create a selection of it. Once again, if you remember from the last class, if we hold Command and click on this little preview, it will select the text. Okay, so I have that selection made. I can now create a new layer, and the first step is going to be to outline this text. I'm going to do that by going to Edit, Stroke, set the color to black, and set it to 1 or 2 pixels, whatever you prefer, and it will outline that. The next step is to create a fill. Now we've done this before with the gradient tool. So you can use a pre-built gradient, or you can click on here to define your own. I'm going to use a pre-built gradient. Let's go with a 3 color. So I don't really like this orange. That's nice. Okay. Then once you've done that, you can draw a line to fill your selection with that color, okay, and whatever direction you would like. Now I can deselect that text. Go to my Move tool, and I can move that onto my Assignment 9 background layer. So I'll transform that first of all, Command T, so that it fits on this wall. Now one thing I noticed about this wall is it is a perspective image, meaning things get smaller as they go further into the distance. My text isn't currently doing that, but Photoshop has a tool that does that. If we go to Edit, Transform, we can use something called a perspective tool. So I can grab the corner of this text and have it change as it disappears into the distance. Okay? Hit enter. Now we're doing pretty good here. However, one thing to point out is I noticed that where this wall is crumbling, I probably wouldn't still have paint visible. So take your eraser tool and erase the areas where theoretically your text should have crumbled off with the wall. Now, this doesn't look very realistic, so what I'm going to change is the layer blending mode to something called overlay. So I can now see the text on here overlaid very nicely. The next step I'm going to do is to copy this layer And what I want to do with this, first of all, it darkens it up a bit, but because it's spray paint, it's not this definitive with its lines. So what I'm going to do is add a filter to this. I'm going to go to blur. I'm going to add a Gaussian blur, and you can see right here what it looks like. So if I really blurred it out, you can see it previewing down here. I'm going to set that to about 5 pixels, and then click OK. And it gives it kind of a fuzzy look, which would be more likely to happen if you were using spray paint on the wall. So there is my name graffitied on a wall. Now, because I'm in Florida, it's nice and warm. I've just spray painted my name on a wall, well, maybe many years ago, and I'm back to visit it. I'd like to take a photo in front of it. So here is, I guess, a representation of me being very happy that I just spray painted a wall, or very happy that maybe this was a friend of mine who has seen my name on a wall. So I will put her into this photo, and she's really happy to be there. But I'd still like to make this kind of a beach scene. So you can see in her glasses there is a reflection. Okay? We're going to work with that. So what I'd like to do first of all is on this layer, using my magnetic lasso tool, I am going to make a selection of her glasses. Make sure I add to selection and select the other side. Okay, so I've now selected her glasses, and now what I need to do is create a new layer, and I'm going to fill that area by going Edit, Fill, not a stroke. I'm going to have a stroke right away. Edit, Fill, and fill this with black. Okay? So we now have that area. We can Command D to deselect that. Now the final step is going to be to bring in this beach. We'll put it there. You can transform it down so it's a little bit smaller. Let's get as much of the beach in this scene as we can, and hit enter to put it there. Now this step is very, very important. Okay, we want to make sure that here is our beach layer and here is the 2 lenses we just filled. This is over top of this. Okay, now with this beach layer selected, and I guess I should remind you that we should rename all of these layers. So this will be the glasses, fill. Here's the tourist, or my friend. Here's my graffiti. I don't know how to spell graffiti. Here's the beach. Anyway, select the beach, and what we're going to do is something that we've done before, which is go to Layer and create a clipping mask. Okay, you can see that it's put that image there, and I can set that up to the desired effect. Okay, and now we're going to click on the glasses fill. We're going to add an effect here, and we're going to add an inner shadow. See how it is applied an inner shadow there. We'll put it in the bottom corner. Click OK. And then what we want to do is drop the opacity of this layer down a bit, and you can see that if we dropped it all the way down, her glasses show back up again. But we want the beach to be in there, so I'll set mine to about 63%. Okay, and then I will also go to Image. Whoops, I need to make sure my glasses fill. Selected, go to Image, Adjust, and bring up the brightness contrast. And we can just subtly adjust that a bit, and then click OK. There's our finished product of my friend the tourist, very happily standing in front of a wall that I have spray painted on. So now what you need to do is go File, Save As, put your last name followed by an underscore followed by assignment9, save that to your desktop, click OK, then place that in the hand-in folder.